got over here is our 1934 Street Beast coupe. And what we're going to do is we're going to start wiring it up. I'm going to show you the proper way to wire it so you don't have no loose connections, no faulty grounds, no shorts, and see if we can get it. Now the customer that owns this vehicle got the standard basic 14 circuit wire harness that comes with the Street Beast kit. You can actually go all the way up to 22 circuit if you want to, but a 14 circuit is more than plenty for everything that we're going to install in that car. Now the first thing that you want to do is you want to open that wire harness up, and you'll see that it comes with an instruction manual which is very detailed. It tells every color of the wire, every number, where it goes. There's wire diagrams for basically every combination of wiring that you want to do. So that's a real handy item. The next thing you want to do is go ahead and get your wire harness out, and you'll see that it comes with everything needed to wire it up. And most of your common street rods that you see out there today have General Motors type steering columns. So this is a real nice wire harness to wire up. If you notice, the wires are nice and thick. Everything's real legible on them. If you look right there, you can see that says low beam number 9. And you know, this is why I like the St. Francis wire harness quick wire kit. So the first thing that you want to do once you get your wire harness out of the box is make a plate. Now I'm going to weld this onto the vehicle. You can bolt it on or however you need to mount it, but it needs to be very, very secure when you mount it. So I went ahead and made a plate, and what I did is I marked my holes, okay? If you look right here, I took my wire harness, I set it down on there, and I marked my holes. And what I did, instead of drilling out 1/4 inch, I went ahead and drilled out 5/16 in case them holes aren't perfect. And I used my hammer and my punch, just like so, to find the hole. So I went ahead and drilled those out. Then I took my drill and carefully drilled the holes out, because the kit actually comes, if you look right here, with the screws if you want to use them. But we're going to use 1/4 inch. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bolt this on here, because it's a lot easier to do outside of the car than in the car. And we get that down on there just like that. And if you notice, I drilled the holes a little bigger just in case they were off. So I went ahead and drilled the holes out for 5/16. And then we bolt that on there. And while you're wiring your car, always remember that it's very important to keep the wires all uniform and secure. And you're going to take your plate, and I've actually made this a little bit longer just in case that I need to add some extra circuits to it at a further, in the future, or I want to put some ground wires on here. It's always good to have just a little bit of steel left over. Now, the way that I wire a car up, it would be common sense for most people just to have the wires hanging down this way. But I like to wire them where they're all up going inside, and then I start fishing them around where I want. That way, we won't have no obscurities. So what we need to do is take all these wires loose so they all look like this, because we're going to fish them right up in through here, and then we're going to let them hang out. So you go ahead and cut all your wires and unravel them. And as you're unraveling them, it would be a good idea to have some wire ties and just wire tie your wires back together in the categories that they are. And what that's going to do, that's going to keep them all in line. You don't need to put a lot of them on there. That way you won't have a little spaghetti bowl going with wires everywhere. And it makes it a lot easier, because a lot of these wires, if you notice, they're not all the same length. So once you get all your wires, uniformly wire tied where they aren't going to get tangled up, what we're going to do is we're going to feed these wires up through our angle brace here for our striker post, one at a time. Now, you would think that you'd start with the little one, but not really. What you want to do is start with the longest one and work your way around. And the best way to do that, so you can have common sense where all your wires go, is find out what section goes where when you put it in there. Now, I know from experience that this section right here, because I've wired many cars, this section is actually the section that goes to the rear of the vehicle for your tail lights section and your fuel pump. So we go ahead and pull that through there nice and easy, fish it through, just like so. Because that's actually going to be the longest one we got. Just take your time. And then throw it around to the other side of the steering wheel. And this is kind of a hard chore to do with the steering column and wheel in place. So if you don't feel comfortable, you can always take the steering wheel out of the car, but you need to leave the steering column in because we need to wire it up. So the next section that we're going to feed through there, and if you look real close down at the end toward the fuse box here, you're going to see the wire groups that are the names of what the wire groups are. So we're going to take our headlight section and we're going to get all this other stuff out of the way here. We're going to get our headlight section. Now you see why I'm telling you to tie it up while you're inserting it. Now with this section here, what we're going to do is we're going to run it down through the floor because this is going to go into the front of our car. So we go ahead and take our wires like so. And the cameraman can stay right there. Make a loop halfway through. And you'll see that I'm pulling the wires that go to the front of the car through the car itself. The next section of wires that we're going to put through the car is our motor group wires. And if you read right there, once again, it says motor group. And what we're going to do with those wires is the same thing that we did with our headlight wires. Because those are going to go in front. And you want to make sure that none of these are tangled up. You want a nice, even thing. So I'm going to put them right through there just like that. I'm going to pull them easy and find the end that I need to pull on. And as I'm doing that, I'm keeping all this the same length in the car. Okay? And then I'm going to take the wires. I'm going to stick these ones on the engine right here, out of the way. Ready to wire. The next section is our accessory section. And what that has is the fan and the AC switches. It's got the accessory group for your headlights and all your gauges, your speaker wire and your stereo, etc. Now, we know these are going to stay in the car, so we're going to run these ones up through here. And we're going to go ahead and weld this on to the beam that you're looking at right here. Now, like I said, you can actually bolt that on there if you want. I have done that in the past. It's on me well done on there. What I did is I went ahead and got me a piece of flat steel, and that's approximately 1 1/4 inches wide by 1/8 inch thick, or maybe probably 1/16. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to weld this in between these two pieces of angle iron here, and what that's for is to mount all my relays on it, to help mount my air conditioner unit, and whatever else that we might need to mount inside the vehicle to make it run and all the electricals work properly. And this is also going to be used as a ground strap as we're going. So let me go ahead and weld that in.